DJ Wilma, and welcome to Starcraft Roundup, where we talk about the recent results of Starcraft tournaments. First off, we have the conclusion of the GSL Code S Season 1 2004 Finals. The victor being Zest, winning the series 4-3 against SK Telecom's Sue. This is the first time in GSL history that a Protoss has won 2 consecutive championships, with last season's being Deer and this season being Zest. This is also the first time in GSL history that a player has consecutively won second place. Another fun fact is this is the 6th consecutive GSL to have a Zerg player in the finals. This is far more than any other race at any other time within GSL history. Also, someone I went to high school with had dinner at the same place that Zest and Stats did after the championship. If I were to recommend one game, I would recommend Game 6, as it was a nail-biter, since had Zest lost that game, his run in the series would have been over, but he managed to pull it back, all the way coming down to a bunch of ultras and cannon. As for our next story, I want to do a quick wrap-up of Acer's team's Story Cup. Neurosoft's Wellmu showed his round of 8 strength by taking the very first 4 games off of Empire Fnatic. Harrison made a valiant effort in taking 2 games of the series, but was eventually shut down by ex-teammate Night End. Next we had Snoot, again trying to show some round of 8 strength, took the first 2 games off Mouse Sports, but was eventually shut down by Mouse Sports Deer. Deer managed to take out Snoot, Tasia, and ex-teammate Mana, but then was again shut down by Hero. Liquid Hero showed that the fumble in WCS NA's round of 16 was nothing to be worried about, as he managed to take 2 games off Deer and also beat round of 8 WCS EU player Vortex. Next up to the plate was My Insanity versus Invictus Gaming. Much like the previous 2, first player was WCS EU round of 8. Stardust showed his strength by taking the first 4 games off of Invictus Game. Finally, Invictus, fronting up Jim for the second time, managed to take 2 games, 1 off Stardust and 1 off Serial. But the series was ended quite valiantly by Jakshi taking the final game off Jim and winning the series for their team. Finally, Team Acer versus Evil Geniuses. It followed many of the other series, with their first player showing the greatest strength out of all the other players, but innovation wouldn't stop at just getting 4 kills. He ended up getting 5, beating Jaedong twice. Thus far, there is one rule that has stayed consistent without Acer's Team Story Cup. If you're a Protoss, you can only either be beaten by a Protoss or by a Korean player, with every single Protoss only being beaten by another Protoss, with the exception of Jakshi beating Jim. But Jakshi, being a Korean player, still follows the rules. Next up we have WCS NA round of 16. Thus far, round of 16 is already halfway done, with Group A and B being played through last night. Group A consisted of Oz, Hyun, Puck, and Hart. And unfortunately, within this group, no American player really made it through. It was just the Korean strength. But Puck showed a valiant effort, taking the first series off Hyun 2-1, but then eventually falling down to him 2-0 in the final series. In Group B, much like Group A, a Protoss and a Zerg Korean player ended up making it through. Now this means that there will be no North American players in the round of 8. But a key thing to note is Neeb's performance within the group. Though losing the first series 0-2, Fnatic's Neeb showed great valiant effort, beating Huck 2-0 and then narrowly being closed out by a Revival 2-1. If American players keep it up as they are, and had the groups been drawn slightly differently, we might have seen a round of 8 American player for the first time in WCS NA history. The rest of the round of 16 will be concluded later today. Now for a quick roundup of the rest of the results of this week. No Dice Gaming held their 3rd invitational with household names such as Symbol, Seed, Petraeus, Major, and QXC among others. Though Symbol had a rough start in the first 2 days, coming 2nd place in his groups of the round of 16 and round of 8 under both Bly and Petraeus, he was able to claim 1st place versus Seed in the finals, bringing home $1,500, and Bly was able to beat out Petraeus for 3rd place. Go for Starcraft 2 is a weekly tournament where the EU players get to strut their stuff against one another. That is until Jaedong gets bored after being knocked out of the round of 32 in WCS NA and decides to take a win. Jaedong convincingly took 1st place and qualified for the monthly finals. Dignitas Tefel was able to take home $1,200, taking 1st place in the Info Show LAN party hosted in Lithuania. Also, the 9th edition of the Munich Starcraft tournament was hosted this weekend. Though an impressive lineup of German players, the Korean players were the ones who really took the show home. MMA managed to make a great run through the tournament, only losing 1 map before the finals. Unfortunately, Alien Invasion's Patience was able to take the finals in an extended series versus MMA. More impressively, German player Lambo from Team Alternate was able to make it through to the winner's bracket finals within the tournament. even beating out Patience within the winner bracket. Unfortunately losing to MMA in the winner bracket finals, and then losing to Patience in the loser bracket final, but still being able to claim 3rd place. Finally, Yo Flash Wolves Ian, teammate Hassan, who recently qualified for WCS NA Challenger League for Season 2, was able to secure himself a semi-final spot within the Taiwanese Esports League, Season 3. Which is even more impressive when I tell you that Sase, Check, Daisy, and Sen were all in his crew, and he only lost a single series to Daisy 2-0. This guarantees him a spot in Season 4 of the TESL, at least $1,000 in prize money, and at least 150 WCS points. Also, this means that he doesn't have to face fellow teammate Son until possibly the finals. Now this wraps up StarCraft Roundup. I'm DJ Wilma. Have a good night.